You're listening to The Moose and the Loose, your 10 minutes action-packed financial podcast with your host, Mike Yahoo. Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike for The Moose on the Loose. I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday. So today I'm going to start with a rant. I'm going to end with a rant because I'm going to talk about the big, beautiful bill, even though I don't want to talk about the big, beautiful bill. This is the exact definition of market noise. You know, like all the medias are jumping on that bill and they're talking about what's going to happen and how it's going to be horrible and this and that. And have you noticed something? They write could, would, should, potentially, maybe. Well, that's right, because nothing is happening yet. And we're literally just shoveling clouds right now. So there's absolutely nothing you could do, but still I'm going to review that big, beautiful bill because I keep hearing about it and I hate the media for that. All right. Now let's get a little bit more serious. So what's the triple B? The big, beautiful bill is about 1,000-page long worth of reforms that has recently been passed through the House of Representatives in the U.S. in May. And this bill includes so many different things, talking about finance and healthcare and budget and a lot of other things. So right now, where it's at, the bill is under consideration in the Senate. It may be reviewed. It may be amended. It could, it should, etc. Right? And the Republicans would like to pass this before the July 4th recess. So pretty much 2 weeks from now, roughly. So what does it matter? What's the panic? What's the big deal here? So there is a section called 899. So you probably heard about it by now, but I just want to talk about it a little bit more. And then I'm going to explain you why it matters and why in the end it really doesn't matter. And you should just continue on with your life because there's nothing else. But anyways, let's get started here. So section 899, that's kind of like a super override passed to just get out of any tax treaties and add additional punitive taxes to countries that are considered by the U.S. government as having unfair tax practices. So if you're maybe thinking about that, it's okay, tax treaties. Well, we do as Canadians have several tax treaties. The most common one, probably the one that everybody knows about, is if you invest in U.S. stocks or any U.S. assets actually in your retirement account. So LIRA, LIF, RIF, RRSP, of course, you won't have to pay taxes on distributions or dividends, right? So that's amazing. Tax-free. Same thing if you have invested in Canadian assets. So that's the tax treaty that we have right now. It's one of the most common. But there's the thing. The U.S. government doesn't really like the Canada Digital Service Tax. So the tax that we go after, like Meta and Google and Netflix and all the digital service, now they have to pay a tax. So that is expected, could potentially be considered as a unfair tax practice. And as under that unfair tax practice, well then, there would be proceed to have a withholding tax on U.S. dividends for Canadian investors that could increase by 5% annually and potentially reach up to 50% over several years. Potentially. We think that it's going to happen. I'm putting that emphasis on all those conditional words because I really want to highlight that nothing has been signed yet, and it's not something that you're not going to receive a withholding tax notice anytime soon, not even on July. All right. So here's the thing. So that section 899 is expected to override the current Canada U.S. tax treaty, including the 0% U.S. withholding tax on the dividend received into those registered accounts that I just told you about. So, of course, you're just thinking, well, that's bad news. Yes, definitely, it's not a good news. It's not something that you was oh my God, that's so much fun. But the bill is not passed yet. It could be amended, it could be reviewed, it could not pass altogether. And please just remember something that just happened recently. I think it was called the tariffs, right? Oh yeah, the tariffs. It's been what, like 6 months that we're talking about tariffs. How's your strategy going to avoid, prepare, or deal with tariffs? Because like on mine, it's doing beautifully. I did not do anything. Like I stayed invested, same strategy, same stocks. And you know what? My portfolio is up year to date. Isn't that amazing? Yes, it is amazing. So sometimes trying to figure out something that keeps on changing, especially like tariff. And by the way, we are not done with this. I know that more will come. I don't know what more means, but definitely more news, more uncertainties, more fluctuations. But in the end, I stand where I stick where I stand. I told you a long time ago, I'm not going to change anything with tariffs right now until it is sealed and official. Until then, well, I'm just going to let those news fly above my head and not even care much about it because it's been 6 months. I would have been crazy trying to read everything and analyze everything. And this is exactly the same thing with the big, beautiful bill. Why would you spend so much of your time and energy trying to freak out about something that you have no clue how it's going to settle? So you're going to write up like 162 scenarios. And I can tell you right up front, none of those 162 scenarios that you thought of will exactly happen as you thought it would. So there you go. Don't have much to do then. So what could you do at this point? There are a few things that you could do. The first one is to know what is your current position. What I mean by that is, well, instead of freaking out, maybe you should start by looking what would be the impact on your portfolio. So imagine you're going to look at your portfolio and then you're going to look at how much per year you receive in US dividends. For example, I did the exercise for me and then I have like roughly like $2,000 in US dividends that I receive per year across all my accounts, like registered, non-registered, whatever. So the big beautiful bill would affect my overall return by a few $100. Will it make me sell my Costco shares or Visa or Microsoft? I don't think so. I think I'm going to keep them, even though if it costs me like a $300-400 eventually, I mean, I'm not going to be happy about it, but it's not going to move the needle, not at all. And then even in the bill, it says that it will go up gradually. So even if it takes into action, it's been passed and everything is done for like January of 26, you will have plenty of time to actually make a real decision once you have all the information in your hands. Because in the meantime, right now, you may do a bunch of trades, a bunch of movements, and then next week, we are going to hear another story where like the bill will be amended or it will not pass or whatever happens, right? So don't waste too much time on that. And if you really freak out, my best advice for you, since we're talking about taxes, is to meet up with a tax expert. Pay him a couple of $100 and he's going to say exactly the same thing because he won't be able to tell you whatever, like, we won't be able to tell you what is going to happen next because nobody knows. So save yourself the couple of $100 there. Do not go crazy and just identify where you stand at and you're going to be all good. In the meantime, there's absolutely nothing else to do. And I suggest, as summer is coming up, to just go outside and enjoy the sun. Like take sometimes on the terrace and just enjoy life instead of like worrying about this big beautiful bill because we're not there yet anyways. All right, Moose, I hope that I gave you a little bit of dose of conviction here today and that you will focus on what really matters, meaning having a strong investment thesis for all your holdings, having good numbers there, review a portfolio quarterly, and let the noise aside. It's going to make your life a lot easier and more beautiful. So, right, Moose, take good care. And we're going to talk again tomorrow. And we're going to talk about Brookfield, BAM or BN or both. So stay tuned and stay invested. Hey, welcome to the disclaimer. If you're listening to The Moose and the Loose, you cannot really expect me to give you buy or sell recommendation or financial advice, right? You're here for fun, you're here for information and some entertainment. But I am not your financial advisor, I am not your broker, so therefore I'm not liable if you're losing money after listening to the podcast. If you're looking for some advice, go see a professional. If not, you can enjoy the show and do your due diligence after it.